boss chick in the building. She's an actress, singer. Is there anything she can't do? Well, it is the lovely, the amazing Adomaa.
Hey.
Welcome, Adomaa. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. It's been a very busy day, but
Busy.
Busy.
What are you wearing? What are you wearing?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I literally just started the conversation with my management about all of that, so I don't know. But we'll figure it out before time.
Don't worry. If you need a stylist, I've got you. I've got you.
I might hit you
I
up.
know you always go for the natural look. Maybe
Yes.
this time around, will you change it, switch it up once?
I don't know. I
You don't
have
want to
no.
give us any idea?
I wish I had an idea
Okay.
to give you, but I really don't know.
How
But we'll
excited
figure.
are you?
I am very, very
Wow.
excited. Super honored to have been nominated in the first place, and just looking forward to the whole
Because a
event.
lot of people say that your genre of music, you being nominated, more validation that alternative music is really important.
Exactly.
How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm happy, like I said, and I'm honored that they would even, because the music, especially the projects I put out, I didn't expect it to have gotten to their panel. I mean, we did submit, but like a lot of people are submitting, so we just do it because if they pick, if they don't, but there's not really the expectation that they would. So yeah, I'm really honored that they did, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, acting.
Yes.
So it came. I've watched some of your interviews where you talk about the fact that that was your first love.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted to do, and then
Yeah.
music kind of just surprised you.
Yeah.
Now going into acting, how does it feel like this is the dream that you've always dreamed of, the little Adomaa?
Absolutely.
You being in acting, how surreal does it feel?
It's everything for me. Just being in front of the camera, learning lines, and vibing with the rest of the cast and crew, being in character, studying the character. All of it is like very surreal because I grew up watching a lot of movies, and I remember I used to watch movies not for the entertainment of it, but because what goes on behind the scenes? How do they do that and all of that? So to be in the position where I can see myself on screen and imagine, I know what goes on behind, I know everything. Yeah, it's very giddy. It's really, really exciting.
Today is like your biggest role yet.
Yes.
I can say
Yes.
confidently say
Yes.
that.
Yes.
How was it like going into set?
Yeah.
Like with actors that have already been like seasoned actors.
Mhm.
Who was like the mother on set for you?
Mother on set. Who? It probably would be Anita Erskine
Okay.
and Shelley.
Okay,
Yeah, those
okay.
two. And I have a very good relationship with both of them. But yeah,
Did they give you any advice? Any advice that we would like to know?
I'm
set?
really, honestly, I feel like everybody vibes off each other. Nobody, even the seasoned actors, honestly, unless you go to them and you want to ask specific questions, everybody is coming like they're ready to learn. Ajay Anand is not coming like, I know what you do this and you do that. And, everybody is like really, really chill, really humble. If you come to them and you talk or want to get some advice on stuff, they are very open to share. But it feels like we're all the same, we're all family, and we're all, vibing and learning together. So,
Did you ever have imposter syndrome?
I still do.
You still do?
I'm still battling with imposter syndrome, but I feel like what is helping me overcome it is getting better at what I do. Even with the music, the more I have a lot more experience on stage or just vocal training, performance training, all of those things, I feel more confident, and then I don't feel like a fraud. Because like if you don't know too much and you are in that space, and that's how I feel it started. I didn't feel like I knew enough, and then all of a sudden people are pouring accolades to your name.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're working around it.
Snowfall, we saw you in there. Who called you? When did you get that call?
So it's interesting. I actually didn't get the call.
Okay.
So I was in the show with my little sister, and coincidentally, she got the call before I did. So a casting agent was at my studio, my music studio. I wasn't even around, and saw her. I don't know what he even came to do there, but maybe some music. I have no idea. But he saw my sister and was like, "Oh, she fits the role that they have in mind for some production." My sister starts to laugh because she's not an actor, and so she's like, "No, that's not me." But he's like, "Oh, no, you should do it." And so she does it,
Okay.
and then afterwards, he's like, "Oh, the character there's a sister, like they were casting sisters, so I know your sister's an actor, so call her as well. So I was like, the side though.
Okay.
If you even watch it, she has more screen time, more talking time than I did. So I feel like I'm just there
Which one
supporting. She was Lumisi.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people were mistaking her for me.
For you.
Like, the people were like, "Oh, I saw Adomaa." Yeah, well, I was there,
You
but
two look
like,
alike.
yeah, I
How
was
many
there.
sisters
Like,
do you have?
just one.
How does it feel having a sister? Does she steal your things? Does she steal
Oh, all
your
the
clothes?
time, both ways. It's hand me ups and hand me downs. So both ways.
Who's
But
the
yeah,
stubborn one?
she would say I am,
But you
but
say she is.
I would say she is. But if I'm being honest, I think I am. I think
Who's
I
most
am.
likely to get married first?
Oh no, she is.
She is.
Yeah, she
Why
is.
Adomaa's not?
I don't know. I do want to, but like
But she's
where my
right.
mind is right now is that's not on my list of priorities. But she's more in that more that direction right
I know
now.
you're open about mental health and everything that is. When it comes to talking about your mental health, what was the reception with your parents? Because sometimes the older generation are more pray to Christ, or we don't do that here. What was the reception first of all with your parents?
It took a while for me to even understand that I was going through something. It took a very long time because I'd never been depressed before, and I know people talk about it all the time, but like it's not something I had experienced to say, oh, I'm feeling this type of way. Oh, I'm depressed. I didn't know. I just knew I was in a very bad space for a very long time, but it hadn't clicked that it was anything. So I didn't even know. So I don't even know how I would have communicated it with my parents. It took a long time, and I feel like there was one particular incident where I had been cooped up in my room for a very long time, maybe I think 2 weeks or so, and I'd lost a whole lot of weight. So by the time I came out, that was the first thing people were like, oh my god, what happened to you? And I think that's when it clicked that, oh wait, something happened, something is wrong. You look really, oh okay.
And what is it about Ghanaians that when you lose
I
weight,
don't
you
know.
say there's something wrong?
But I feel like in this regard, it was actually helpful because it was the first thing that made me realize there was a problem. But in even realizing that, I struggled a bit because like, fine, I knew that there was a problem, but now you don't even know how to deal with this because life is still really hitting you on every angle. So it took a while, but eventually I feel like I was able to have the conversation with my parents or my family after I had figured out a lot of the coming out process. Yeah. But yeah, they were very supportive. I went through therapy. They're still super supportive. My family, everybody's really supportive of each other. And yeah, still supportive till now. So, yeah.
So going to therapy, I'm not saying say what exactly happened, but in going to therapy, the first day of therapy, I have trust issues. I don't know about you.
I do too.
How is it opening up to somebody you don't
That
know?
was hard because like I literally do not know this person. I mean, of course, there was like a vetting period before I settled on this person, but you still don't know the person the
So
first day.
what was the vetting period? How do you know this person is good? Because sometimes
so-
you don't know who to go to. So how?
I mean, there are different types of therapists, and there are certain personal traits or things I'm comfortable with that some of them might not necessarily align with. For example, if you are non-Christian, I mean, I am Christian, but like if you are non-Christian, you might not want to go to a therapist that is Christian because you feel like in the session they might impose some of the beliefs on you. Exactly. So there are just little things like that you look out for. First, if I didn't want to go to a man, I just felt like I wouldn't be comfortable. So if you give me a therapist that is a guy, I'm not inclined. So I had to whittle out a lot before I got to that place. But it was really hard because this is a stranger and she was really warm and really friendly and all of that. But it took a while. But yeah, they're also very good at their job, so it made it, after some time, it was a bit uncomfortable, but after some time it was easier to open up. Yeah.
What's the price range of going to therapy?
It varies. It varies. At the time, it was about $350
Per
a
session?
session. Yes, $350 a session. Right now,
Expensive,
I've stopped for a while, although I want to
Okay.
go back. But yeah, I have no idea what
How long
it's
is the
like
session?
now.
How long is it?
Oh, about an hour.
An
Hour and a half. Hour and a half.
But do you feel like did you get your money's worth?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was identifying. The truth is, you are doing most of the talking, to be honest, and they are just guiding and putting perspective into some of the things that you are like. There are things you don't understand. They're basically helping you and guiding you. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like I came out a bit more confident. I came out realizing that in as much as it felt like the world was attacking me, I still have control. I mean, in that depressive state, you don't feel like you're in control of anything. So that whole process helped me realize that, okay, you have some power. You can take some power back for yourself and actually start to fix a lot of things. So yeah, I came out a much better, more stable person. So I would definitely recommend. I know it's not a thing that Ghanaians is open to a lot of Ghanaians, and I know it's not exactly the most economical.
It's very expensive.
But yeah, I'm hoping that with the projects that I have out there and with these kinds of conversations, it would, even if you can't necessarily go and do a whole therapy session, some of these types of conversations you can relate to, and it would go a long way to help. The music will go a long way. I've been getting a lot of feedback in that regard, and it makes me really happy because not everybody can afford it. So if music can do that for you, or conversations like this can do that for you, then I'm happy.
Because I see a couple of your, I won't say a lot, maybe a couple of your interviews that are associated with mental health.
Yeah.
Do you like that association? Do you think?
I don't think it's an association I like.
Okay.
But it's not a matter of whether I like it or not. It's a journey I have gone through.
Okay.
And I'm just coming here talking about my story and how I battled a lot of things. And it's now, okay, because I did go through mental health issues. So it's like I'm sharing my story, people are relating to it. It has now become a thing. And I'm very happy to be a voice in that space because it's not a thing that is commonly spoken about. We're still getting used to the vibe. So if I'm the one that would help, it's still hard, but I'm very happy to be able to be that person for this movie. So I'm here.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Anyway, the music industry. I know you've spoken about your struggles in the music industry. What is it about the music industry that some people find it very difficult? Some people even label it. I don't know if you know this artist, Vanessa Mdee. She even called it demonic and everything. What is it about the industry that makes it so tough for especially young women to be into? What is it about the industry that's so tough?
Okay, so everybody has different experiences. So I can only really speak to mine, although I've heard a lot of things across board, but I can only really speak to mine. And I feel like for me in particular, that I don't think it's normal for any human being to live their lives where everybody is a part of every single thing that they're doing. The celebrity kingdom is not normal. I feel like everybody has vulnerable moments, has everyday lives, and there are certain things you want to keep for yourself. There are certain things you allow yourself to be open to family. There's a version of yourself that you allow to be open to friends. Like there's layers to it, but when you're in the spotlight, it's like you don't have any, and it's not normal. And to have the whole world glaring at you or interested, or to have everything out there in the open is unnerving. It's very, very, it's a lot, especially if you're like me, who is extremely private, extremely quiet, extremely reserved. I like to be in my corner. I don't socialize a lot. I used to have a lot of social anxiety. It's gotten better, but coming from a background like that into the space, into the limelight, and having to deal with everybody in your business, everybody wanting to know your business, everybody having opinions about everything that you're doing is a lot. So on that regard, and this is like the most basic issue there is. I feel like there's so much more, but for me this was like the biggest part because I wasn't ready. And to have to be in that spotlight and to be, for lack of a better word, dissected not just musically but even some personal things, is a lot. And so yeah, that is rough. I feel like even if you are ready, it's still a lot. So imagine not being ready. And of course, being a woman in the space, I haven't really had very direct situations, although because I'm surrounded by my team, so a lot goes to them before it gets to me.
So no
but
man has ever said the person must take advantage of you before they give you.
No. Before I even sit down with that person, I've probably gone through a lot. So they also know me very well. My team knows me very well, so they are there to like whittle out a lot of things before it even comes to me. So I I feel like I'm very privileged. So I'm speaking from a place of privilege, but not everybody has the same story. A lot of people I've heard a lot of things about a lot of people, and it can be quite daunting and scary. So yeah, it's a lot. You have to be very prepared. You have to be very grounded. You have to have a good sense of who you are, what you want, and where you are going. Else, actually, yeah, your mental health can also be part. So yeah.
How many of your day ones are still on your team?
I would like to think a lot of my team is still my day ones.
So the ones you started with, how many?
Yes,
how many
it's
years?
been 8 years now.
Since you started with them, and you're still
Yeah,
with
and
them.
I'm still with
You
them.
haven't
yeah.
fired anybody. Adomaa hasn't fired
Have I
anybody.
fired? No.
No?
Have I fired like you are fired? Okay, no, I did fire one of my managers.
What did he do?
At some point, it's a long story.
Summarize.
It's a very long story. Yeah, it was again. It's all coming back. Plenty things. I know I have done that once, but apart from that, no. People have just had other engagements. Like one of my managers had to go to school, for example, to do his master's, so he wasn't hands-on, even though he still was involved, but not as hands-on. And so I had to get a replacement. But I haven't really fired. No, I've not done that. Just once.
Just once.
Yeah.
When it comes to your genre music, do you ever feel like you want to try something different, or you like your style? You know, these days there's even our piano, so you see artists that don't do our piano now doing our piano. Do you ever feel like you want to explore?
So part of the mental health struggle is the fact that I did. At the time I started music, what I mentioned, I wasn't grounded. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't even know who I was or what I was doing. So it felt like every single suggestion that people gave, and they mean well. People mean well. I mean, not everybody means well, but I'd like to think that people meant well. And so it's like you're open to a lot of things and you are trying so many things. And I realized I was doing a lot of things that were not me, and it was part of it. So I've come from a lot. So I feel like the genre of music that I'm doing now is the best representation of who I am. I have tried doing other things, and I know where it took me. And so I'm not about to go into that space again. I was suicidal. Wow. There was a lot of things going on. So I know making music now is not just about what is on and popping. It's about the message I'm giving. It's about my purpose. It's about fulfillment. It's about how people are benefiting from it. It's not about honestly, it's not about the money. I feel like the projects I just released didn't have the best numbers. I don't think anybody was talking about it. I don't think it was on any charts, but I think it was hugely successful, if you ask me, because what it did for people and the impact that it still has, what people are still talking about till today, even though it's not a lot of people, I am super happy, and I would call it an extremely successful project. So for me, that's what music is. It's not about the charts and all of that. I mean, those things are nice. I mean, recognition is nice, acknowledgement is nice, being nominated for a VGME is nice. I'm not going to lie, it is nice, but that's not the point. It's never been the point. So yeah, I don't know that I can try something new in that regard of commercializing my sound. I am open to try new things because I'm still evolving, I'm still growing, I'm still figuring out a lot about my sound. I mean, I could in 10 years be doing something. I don't know how it's going to look. I don't know what is going to influence my choices, my tastes. So I'm open to that, but I don't think the commercial side of things is myself. I doubt we'll be doing that anymore.
Branding, marketing, streaming and everything. There's a lot that goes into the industry. Is it all self-funded by Adomaa?
So since I started, it has a huge part of it has, but I have had people also investing in me. When I started, there was my friend Quabs, who had a lot of money that he puts into getting things done. Even
Quabs
now,
rich. You should call me.
even now, there's a label or management team that I have that have also, invested some things into. But yeah, it's not all been me, but majority of it has been, yes.
When it comes to comparison, how do you feel when people compare you with other artists?
It doesn't really feel good, honestly. It doesn't feel good because I don't think there's anybody, and this is not even to brag, this is just on the most basic plane there is. I don't think there's anybody like you in the world. I don't think there's anybody like me. in the way I even sound, the kinds of things I do, I don't think so. I mean, I get where the similarities come from, because you might see, maybe you see me and it reminds you of someone, and I don't like to think people are dubious in these things. I feel like to some extent it could be flattery, it could be a compliment, but I don't generally like it, because like I like to be me, and I like to do my things, and I like for people to acknowledge that, okay, this is Adomaa, and Adomaa is doing her own type of thing, but it's not necessarily a bad thing.
I like money. So when it comes to acting and singing, which one brings in more the cash?
Oh, acting.
Acting. The
That's
music
true.
doesn't bring that much cash.
Music brings money, but music requires a lot of money to make money. Like, you need to have a lot of money to be able to make the money that you're trying to make. Acting, not so much, especially in the space that I'm in, because I'm not really in the production parts of things. I'm just an actor. So when I'm hired, I don't need to worry about pre-production, post-production, promo. I can be part of it, but like, it's not my headache. My headache is to come on set, be in character, learn my lines, and get paid for it. Yes, but when it comes to music, that's a completely different ballgame. I'm part of recording. I have to book the studios that I need to record. That's money. You're putting money in. You are putting money in. Sometimes hiring an instrumentalist, a producer, mixing, mastering, all of that is money. Just creating the sound is money. Then promo, that's money. So you are putting in a lot of money, hoping that money will come. So by the time the money comes, sometimes, even though you've made a lot of money, it's hard to say you've broken even, because you put in money. So it's only if it's like a lot more that you say, and it hasn't really been like that for me, as opposed to acting. Acting, I just came, read my lines, got my check, and there were no strings attached. There were no people I have to pay and all of that. It was just me and my money. So yes, I think definitely acting has paid me a lot more. But then the passion is both ways.
You find people in the streets who are very attached to your character, and they think you are it, and they have preconceived notions about you.
The story. If I start, I will not stop. There are two scenarios that I have been like, what? The first one was around midnight. Honestly, I think it was past midnight. My manager called me and basically was freaking out because on Facebook, my contact had his number. So I think the person thought it was me. The person called the person around 12. And immediately my manager picked up. He's like, hey, Didi, what's the meaning of that nonsense? And why would you, I don't even know what episode this is, but like, how can you do this? That they and her husband and her are arguing right now, and their marriage is on, it's like at a point, because, and I'm still down there like, you're a married woman in your home past midnight, sleep. Why are you calling me? It was, yeah. So my manager literally called me to tell me, and I was really shocked. And it's because of Didi. The second one is I was in a car, in an Uber actually, moving to some location, and then at a traffic light I noticed the car sped, and as soon as we got there, looked at me. I was even a bit scared. Looked at me, Didi! Oh my God! What's happening tomorrow? Yeah, it's been crazy. People have told me that Didi sounds better than Adomaa, and so I should probably change my.
Wow.
It's been ridiculous, but I'm very appreciative because it just means they love the show. So yeah, it's been amazing. It's been crazy and amazing.
So you being in the industry, do you think there's hope from the Ghanaian film industry?
Oh, as for hope, yeah, there's hope, and as for talents, there's talent. I just feel like the biggest problem we have is investments and funding. Like just people to pour into the talents that we have, people to believe in us enough to help us fund some of the things, because people are so talented, especially in the music space. I'm a bit new in the film space, but in the music space, Ghana, oh my God, the people we have here is ridiculous. But you're not out there because Charlie, they're also trying to hustle for their bread and butter, so like, and it's tough. So I feel like, yeah, the talent is there. We just need the funding so that, yeah, it will come out, and Ghana would be one of the heavyweights. But I feel like there's hope and we will get there. I'm very optimistic, so yeah, we'll get there.
They always say you need to have multiple streams of income. So
it's very important.
what else do you see yourself channeling your time into?
Right now I have two very demanding careers, so I'll keep it as two for now.
Okay.
And once I figure out both properly because both of them are very. I'm on set and I have a gig and yeah, they're very. Everybody wants attention. So those are my two at the moment. But yeah, the minute I'm stabilized enough in both, I will look at both. I'll look at other streams. But yeah, I can't say for now because like I'm very one track mind.
Okay.
And these are the two I'm on.
So now this is a selfish question.
Okay.
Now I'm a natural. I try to be a naturalista, but every time maintaining my natural hair and I just shave it off. When it starts going, what would be the tips for me to be a full-blown naturalista?
Well, it depends on the kind of naturalista you want to become because I have cut my hair. And that's because it was really stressful.
Exactly.
And I realized I didn't have time for it. But I feel like just on a personal basis, I can't perm my hair because I had a lot of health issues when I did. So it's not really that I want to be in vogue or I want to be part of the crowd. It's mostly a health thing for me.
Okay.
But I feel like it's easier to maintain my hair now
When
that
it's
it's
short.
this way.
Do you feel pressured maybe when you're taking certain choices that you've been able to maintain a very unproblematic brand?
We thank God for that.
Do you feel pressured in a way to behave a certain type of way so that maybe people who are looking up to you don't feel disappointed?
No, I'm living my life.
You're living your life.
I'm generally a very unproblematic person. I don't really like controversy, and there are times when some of my team members have wanted to start some kind of controversy to help promote. Bro, it's not me.
Beef.
I don't even know how to fight. Like even if we're fighting right now, the minute we finish, it's apologies and we're cool. I can't fight. So I don't know how to do beef and all of those things. And I generally feel like I'm just being me. And people are inspired by that. It's a bit some way too because I feel like I'm a human being and I'm bound to make mistakes. I'm not perfect and there are things that I could possibly do that people might not be happy about. I try not to think about it, but it also worries me that people put me on this pedestal because Charlie, I'm not the one to be put on a pedestal. Fine, I might live a very exemplary life, but yeah, let your parents be your role model. But honestly, let your parents be your. But I do get it, and I don't think I do anything in particular. It's just generally who I am. I'm being myself, honestly.
Is there any insecurity when it comes to dark skin and light skin with you?
With me,
Yes.
yeah, I did struggle with that for a while.
Really, I wouldn't have guessed.
Oh, I know, I did. I grew up very sheltered and knowing that I'm very beautiful, and yeah, my mom never really let any of those things affect me. But when I went to boarding school in Nigeria, that was the first time that it hit me that, oh wow, because all of a sudden it was like, oh, you are so dark, oh my god, the sun in Ghana, does it burn people, oh my god, why are Ghanaians so, I'm like, oh yeah. So it's made me feel very, very, very insecure. I'm not proud of it, but there are times I actually attempted bleaching just to fit in because it was a bit much. So I've come a long way, even with regards to that, to loving my skin and loving who I am and not wanting to change anything about that. But yeah, I'm happy to be here now.
Taking advantage of your dual nationalities.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm Nigerian, so yeah, we're definitely trying to get into the Nigerian market as well. Definitely.
How hard or how easy has it been for you?
I have not made any. Well, I mean, there are plans, but we've not implemented any of it. So I wouldn't say it's hard or easy at the moment because we've not actually started to implement. But yeah, I'm by the grace of God. By the grace of God, I think it will be fine.
When it comes to music, do you think you need to have talent? Right now in 2023, you need to have talent, or sometimes hard work and determination can get you there? Because there's some people, their voices are a bit questionable, but they have really made it in this industry.
I honestly, I still feel like you need talent because if you sound horrible, there's so far it can take you. Can't take you that far. But yeah, not necessarily. There are people who will tell you you don't need talent, you just need the right connections and you're good. But I still think you do because like at some point it will start to show. And so for me, how I am, I want to be the best that I can be so that I can give people what they need since I am in this industry to serve, literally. I feel like I'm not just entertaining, I'm here to serve as well, with the message and the music and everything. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. It's a lot of self-improvement, vocally, physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Yeah, that's what I'm on. And then eventually, all the doors that will open as we continue will open.
Do you think your career is now making sense after all this?
Yes, for the first time.
For the first time.
For the first
So
time.
comparing that to previously, you started out, how have you grown so far?
Oh, I know. I feel like I have a better sense of who I am, as opposed to accidentally stumbling into the industry in 2015 and not knowing anything about anything and just going with the flow. I feel like I'm grateful for all of the struggles because it has helped build character, it has helped build resilience, it has helped be sure of what I know I can take and what I can't take. I'm very selective to also know the pace at which I can do things, all of that. So yeah, there's a lot of growth generally.
Have you ever had to refuse an opportunity?
Oh yeah, plenty.
Plenty. Do you look back and regret and say maybe you shouldn't have refused?
Absolutely not.
They're not in line with your brand.
Absolutely not.
But don't you feel sometimes the more the opportunities, the more visibility, the better?
See, that's the thing. If you know what you stand for and where you are going, it's not everything that's for you. And there are some opportunities that look like, oh, they are going to give you the big break and all of that. But I did say I'm not doing this for that. That's not why. And if that comes, it will come with the opportunities that are necessary at the time. That if I was looking for blowing, then I'll be a controversial artist. I won't be minding my business. I don't know. I'll be everywhere with some scandal here or some scandal there, and it will impact the music, and the music will chat. But that's not why. I don't think that's why I'm here. So some opportunities, it's not like it's not the right opportunity. It might just not be the right time, because like there's a lot, and I'm on a steady path.
Do you think you're
trying
receiving
to
now?
go.
You're giving your flowers. Now Adomaa is.
I'm still earning my flowers. I don't know about people giving me. I mean, if you give me flowers, I'll take them because I love flowers. But I feel like I'm at the stage where I'm earning. I'm trying to beat the imposter syndrome. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Same here.